Sometimes in physics, you want to be able to take the abstract and turn it into something we can explain by waving our hands, or at least convince ourselves that we could have come up with it using intuition. Sometimes this is possible. Other times, not so much. In these instances, we call the result counterintuitive, and that's sort of accepting defeat in a way. It's really hard to know when you'll have a situation which can be described by intuition, either predictively or retrodictively. Sometimes what's counterintuitive is also counterintuitive in itself. Feynman nicely put this in a lecture on Fermat's principle of least time in optics. And he says that we've got a formula which came out of some working out. Or we have an observation and numbers that we measure, and a law that summarizes these numbers. But wouldn't it be great if we could actually find a way of thinking such that the law is evident? What he means by this is, can we wave our hands, can we use our intuition to actually posit the existence of this law or the existence of the equation we derive to describe some observation? The example that I find counterintuitive is that of two masses on a pulley. When you go through and try and find the acceleration that's common in magnitude for both of these masses, you get a result that looks like Newton's second law. It's a funny type of Newton's second law though, because it has the sum of the masses on the left-hand side, some acceleration, in this case the magnitude of the acceleration that's common to both masses, and a difference in weights. That's usually quite odd for objects in gravitational fields because the net force is usually the sum of their weight. So what's going on here? Well, it turns out that trying to retrodict some physics by hand waving for this equation is actually a fool's errand, perhaps, because this is the composite mass, or the total mass of this two-mass system. This is that difference in weights that I was suggesting is the weird thing about this version of Newton's second law. But this is not the acceleration of the composite mass. And here's where trying to retrodict something from the equations can actually turn out to be a fool's errand. So maybe there is a hand wave for this expression for the acceleration, and I just haven't thought of it. But I find this result counterintuitively counterintuitive.